Yesterday, my brother confessed his love for me. I had already shared this on a different subreddit, but truthfully, I simply need to express my feelings. I can't even discuss this with my friends, and the situation feels so appalling that I'm completely isolated. I also don't believe this violates the rules against relationship posts, as there's nothing romantic involved, and we are clearly not dating. Anyway, I was adopted from Russia at the age of 3 a year after my brother was born. He is my parents' biological child. We grew up together, and I always felt closest to him since we were near an age. My other brother and sister are both more than 5 years older than me, so it was always just him and me, getting into mischief, teasing each other, walking home from school, and so on. We certainly had our disagreements. He was often irritating and arrogant about his academic performance, but I still love him. Last year, I commenced college and relocated across the United States while he enrolled in a university in California. I was genuinely thrilled to embark on this new chapter, having grown up in a somewhat small town in Oregon. During my first year, he began to text me more frequently and call me constantly. I was honestly very happy about it because being away from home was challenging. This year, however, I noticed a change in his behavior during winter break. He became overly physical. He literally made me rest my head on his lap while we were watching a movie. When I sat up, he claimed he was cold. I felt extremely uncomfortable. He would grasp my hand casually, put his arm around my shoulder, and engage in other forms of physical contact that I did not desire. Another point about him is that he possesses immense charisma, humor, and popularity. He is conventionally attractive, stands at 6 feet 3 inches, and is athletic. I mention these qualities to emphasize that he isn't some lonely individual without friends or the ability to converse with women. He was, in fact, one of the most popular students in our high school. This is precisely what makes his actions even more perplexing and disturbing for me. I sent him a picture, and he made an odd comment about my beauty making him nervous. Afterward, I inquired why he had been acting strangely recently. He insisted I call him, and during the conversation he admitted he was in love with me. Now he's attributing his feelings to his mental health, claiming he fears losing me, among other excuses. I am utterly disgusted with him, and currently just want to block all contact. The only thing preventing me from doing so is the concern that he might harm himself. I understand that I need to inform my parents, but I'm also apprehensive about how they will react to this news. I'm unsure if they'll fully believe me, as the situation itself is so implausible and repulsive. Words truly cannot convey the sense of betrayal I'm experiencing right now. I'm reevaluating every interaction I've ever had with him. When did these feelings even begin? Scaling Stories Corner. First OP included some images containing text conversations with her brother, which I will transcribe here. Start of text messages. Brother, sorry, I meant like it's weird that you used to be my little sister, and now you're a beautiful woman. Makes me nostalgic. P, don't worry. I'm still your little sister. Always will be. Brother, good morning. Hope your day goes well. Let me know how your bio presentation goes. You got this, brother. Brother. Yeah, but my little sister isn't so little anymore. OP, you're still 5 and taller than me. Don't worry, you'll always be bigger. LOL. OP. Also, I will let you know, redacted, and I worked all weekend on it, and I still don't feel confident. OP. I also wanted to bring up something important with you. Lately, you have been acting a little different, more shy with me, but at Christmas, you were more physical. Is there anything I did on why you're acting differently? I just hope everything is okay between us. Brother, I've actually been meaning to talk to you about that. This is going to sound really weird, and you can tell me if it makes you uncomfortable, but I have just been seeing you in a different light lately. I don't know how to describe it, and I of course still love you, and you're my family. It's just different now that we're far away. Brother, I don't know. I just mean you're the one person I am excited to talk to every day. If we don't text, I really miss you. Brother, I hope this doesn't get misconstrued. Brother, do you understand what I am trying to say? OP. Kind of, but also not really. I also miss you since you're my brother. I miss everyone. It's hard being away from home. Brother, for F's sake, this is coming out wrong. Can I call you around 9 o'clock tonight to clear it up, I fear? In text it will sound bad. OP. Brother's name, please. You're making me worried and a little uncomfortable. Can you please just tell me now? Brother, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to do that. I really can't tell you now. Please just wait until tonight. End of text messages.
Sir.
Start of text messages after the phone call. Brother, look, I'm really sorry. I think I've been going through it lately. I think I got my feelings mixed up. I don't know. Please, I need to keep you in my life. I just really care about you, and having you push away when you're already so far away would kill me. Brother, I know it's effed what I said, and I am so sorry. I put you in the situation. That wasn't right. Can we please just forget it happened and go back to things? Brother, I don't care if you tell mom, dad, redacted, or redacted. I just know I need you. I'll go to therapy like you suggested. I want to get better for you. OP, I'm in class. Stop calling me. Brother, are you okay? OP, please, just let me process alone. Brother F. I'm sorry. It's so hard though. I can't even imagine what you're thinking, brother. I wish I never said anything. I've ruined everything, haven't I? OP, I'll be frank. I'm really annoyed you can't leave me alone and let me think things through instead of spam calling and texting. This is the last time I'm going to ask you before I block you. I'm very busy right now, and this is the last thing I need, brother. Brother. Okay, I respect that. End of text messages. Okay, now that we've covered all that, wow, just wow. My heart goes out to OP because her family dynamic must be causing immense stress, especially with her being the adopted child, and everyone else, including her brother, being biologically related. I recall a similar story where one sibling developed an attraction to another, and I believe it was linked to a troubling addiction to adult content. I truly believe there's validity to the negative impacts of adult content addiction, such as its ability to degrade one's brain and gradually push them towards seeking increasingly extreme forms of stimulation. I suspect something similar must be happening with the brother, for him to desire a romantic relationship with someone he's lived with since he was a preschooler. I don't think OP has many options beyond informing her parents, and hoping it doesn't severely damage the family. Now here are some of the most insightful comments from the original post. Commenter 1, I've read all your other posts about this, and first off, this is absolutely awful, and I truly understand that feeling of sickening betrayal. Honestly, all that physical contact would make me feel violated. Many commenters are strongly criticizing your brother, and I am in no way defending anything he has done to you, because yes, it's an immense violation of boundaries. However, it does sound like your brother is struggling. Perhaps he's not adjusting well to college life and is clinging to his closest connection to home, which is you. This might have caused him to romanticize your sibling relationship and engage in mental gymnastics because you two aren't biologically related. I genuinely believe he misses you and perhaps compares his other relationships to the one he has with you, putting you on a pedestal that other women can't reach. You described your childhood together as extremely close and inseparable, which was likely entirely innocent until something shifted in his mind, making him perceive it differently. Based on your descriptions, his responses suggest he is terrified of this, and it may have been tormenting him internally for a while, dreading telling you and fearing your reaction. He appears ashamed of himself. I disagree with other commenters who demonize him and make him sound like he would harm you if left alone, without attempting to understand his struggle. My advice, I think he requires professional help, but I do not believe you are the person to provide that help. Inform your parents and have them arrange for him to see a professional. Do not feel pressured to maintain peace for the sake of your tuition or other concerns. Have your parents tell him you will not communicate with him until he seeks professional assistance. I just hope your parents are understanding of the situation rather than simply ignoring it. OP. I truly appreciate this. Your comment was very thoughtful. I know he is suffering and I hope he receives the help he needs. Commenter 2. You two aren't in close physical proximity, being 3,000 miles apart at different colleges. I would issue him an ultimatum. He needs to resolve this, get over it, or speak with a therapist before your next college break, or you will tell your parents. It might just be a temporary phase he's experiencing. I wouldn't inform your parents just yet, otherwise it could permanently shatter your family. OP then provided additional background about her family. I was adopted from Russia when I was 3, so I essentially have no memories from before that time. My parents made every effort to ensure I felt no difference between myself and my siblings. My siblings are biologically related to my parents, so despite my parents' best attempts, whenever we went out to eat or to the pool, everyone assumed I was merely a family friend. My siblings possess dark features and tanned skin, while I was always the pale blonde one. My father even occasionally experienced racist remarks from older individuals, and it was truly painful to witness. Whenever we visited my extended family on my dad's side, they would treat me differently, deliberately speaking Arabic so I couldn't comprehend, and my cousins would exclude me from activities among other things. It's challenging because I believe my parents did their absolute best and an amazing job. I simply feel like I have consistently been ostracized by my dad's family and by society in general because my appearance doesn't match my family and siblings. I also want to emphasize that I understand being white in America is a privilege, and I'm not complaining about that. Instead, I'm simply venting about the difficulties inherent in intercultural adoption. I hadn't truly given it much thought before, but recent family issues have prompted me to reflect more on my childhood. Update 1 day later. This morning, I had a meeting with my counselor, and she advised me to call my parents. I'm planning to do so tonight after dinner, despite receiving conflicting opinions on whether I should. I'm unsure how much I'll want to disclose after this call, but depending on how it unfolds, I might post another update later tonight. I've muted my brother for the time being. He only messaged me once today and I didn't respond. I'm not sure how many people genuinely care, but should I simply post updates on my profile? Or would another subreddit be more suitable? Thank you. Edit. I also want to express how much I appreciate all the advice and support everyone has given me. It truly means a lot, and I apologize if I haven't responded to some comments. There were so many, but I did read them all. Thank you. Second update. 4 hours later. I just finished speaking with my parents about 30 minutes ago. My counselor instructed me to explicitly write down everything I wanted to convey, including my own needs and my brother's needs. I was able to share my screen during the FaceTime call, allowing me to display our recent text messages and the alarming number of calls he made. He called me 30 times in 24 hours. I began by expressing my concern for his mental well-being, noting his unusually erratic and desperate behavior. He is typically very calm and composed, so the sudden change in him was what troubled me most. I told them when I first noticed his altered behavior toward me, such as being excessively touchy during Christmas, and pressuring me into doing things I wouldn't normally do. Nothing related to sexual assault, just the incident where he wanted me to rest my head on his lap while we watched a movie, and then told me to get back down when I returned from the bathroom. I also explained how if I was on the couch, he would put his arm around me or hold my hand, making me feel suffocated and uneasy. I then started showing them screenshots some dating back months, where I'd reviewed our conversations and realized certain things had completely gone over my head. Some instances where I thought he was just being overly kind were actually flirtatious, and I hadn't wanted to acknowledge it. Then I showed them the text that prompted me to seek help on Reddit, where he called me beautiful and claimed I made him nervous. Throughout this, both my parents listened very intently, nodding and encouraging me to continue. Anyway, when I showed them the text exchange following my brother's and my phone call, my mother looked physically ill. My father has always been quite reserved. I'm not sure if that's the precise word, but he appeared profoundly disturbed and almost angry. My mother immediately began apologizing, asking if I was all right, if I needed anything, etc. I informed her that I wanted my brother to recover, but at this moment, I needed him to cease all contact with me. I told both my parents that they needed to call him right away and check on him. I specified that they shouldn't get him into trouble, but rather focus on his safety, which is genuinely true. My father comes from a more conservative cultural background than my mother. I like to wear a lot of Brandy Melville clothing, most of which are just crop tops, nothing too provocative, so he angrily questioned why I couldn't dress more appropriately around the house, suggesting that perhaps things would have been different then. He has never approved of my style of dress, even though I dress like every other girl my age, so hearing him say that wasn't particularly surprising, to be honest. It made me cry, I won't deny it, and I apologized, even though I don't believe it was my fault. I don't know. It was a very stressful conversation, and it was evident that my dad harbored a lot of misdirected anger, and my mom was at a loss for what to do. They said they would call me again tomorrow after they spoke with my brother to discuss the next steps. Also, one final point, I suppose some people believe this is some strange fetish or kink. The idea that someone would go to the trouble of fabricating these texts and dedicating so much time to writing. All this merely to be odd wouldn't astonish me, given the repulsive comments some individuals have posted on my threads. This will likely be my last update, as I'm only posting to seek help and advice, not to condone this abhorrent behavior. I understand I can't truly prove my authenticity, but ultimately, I'm here solely for guidance. I've also received numerous comments from other women who have experienced similar situations within their families, which makes me feel validated. This situation is unfortunately more common than I initially imagined. My deepest sympathies go out to everyone who has endured this before. It has genuinely been the most stressful experience of my life. Thank you for all your support, everyone. Scaling Stories Corner. Holy cow, what in the world is going on with OP's dad? That was my primary concern after finishing the original post though, for different reasons. I had worried the family might side with the brother over OP because he's biologically related. However, I never anticipated the father would shift the blame onto her and hold her responsible for her brother's attraction to her. That reaction from the dad is truly disgusting, and it must cause OP an incredible amount of pain. The fact that she mentioned this behavior isn't surprising from him speaks volumes. At the very least, I'm relieved her mother was supportive and tried to comfort her. I can't imagine how devastating it would have been if both parents had turned against OP. Now here are some of the top comments from the update post. Commenter 1. Oh darling, I saw your comment to me that you'd updated, and like the other commenter, I was so happy until I reached your dad's remarks. Let's hope it's just displaced anger. Your clothing has absolutely no bearing on your brother's actions. I mentioned in my previous comment that I worried you might fall into blaming yourself. This is not your fault, and I'm so sorry you're experiencing the unfortunate reality women face in our society. My prior advice still stands, read, The Gift of Fear. I'll provide a link to a free copy below. If you feel you can trust your sister, I'd suggest sending her your posts, including this one. Continue seeing your therapist for at least a few months. These kinds of situations sadly can lead to nightmares for longer than you'd expect. For a few years, do not be alone with your brother. What I mean is don't stay together, or if you're both home for holidays/vacations, leave the room when it's just him. When everyone goes to bed and he wants to watch one more episode or have one more drink, go to bed and lock your door. I truly apologize if this scares you, but I keep recalling a similar post where a woman discovered her brother's incestuous stories about her. She confronted him and the family. He seemed to improve, but then the family went on vacation and she stayed up late with him, and the worst happened. Trust yourself. Trust your instincts, and ignore anyone who makes you feel like this is your responsibility. Feel free to message me if you need someone to talk to. OP. Thank you. I apologize for the delay in my response, but I will definitely read that book. I appreciate your comments so much. Third update 3 days later. Hello everyone, this will likely be my final update for a while, as I hope to resolve everything today. Anyway, I decided to block my brother on Friday night. I sent him this text message. OP. It seems you can't respect my boundaries. For both your healing and mine, I have decided to block you temporarily. I don't wish this to be permanent, but I need to concentrate on school, and you are making that extremely difficult right now. I wish you the best, and hope you get help. He didn't have a chance to respond on iMessage. On Saturday night, I was out with friends and kept receiving calls on Instagram. I didn't even notice until I returned to my dorm, as my phone was on Do Not Disturb. It was my brother, and it had completely slipped my mind that I needed to block him on other platforms as well. I opened his profile to block him when he called again. I accidentally answered, but then I thought perhaps this was the moment to say what I needed to, so he would truly understand he needed to leave me alone, since my previous warnings apparently weren't enough. The moment I answered, he unleashed a torrent of, "Oh my God, I am so happy you answered. I needed to know you were okay," and so forth. I told him I was going to block him there too. I reiterated that he needed to seek mental health assistance, which according to mom and dad, he was currently refusing. He told me he didn't want to lose me, didn't want me to feel uncomfortable, and that he couldn't concentrate knowing I was upset. I told him I wasn't angry, I just wanted him to get better. He then asked if he could fly out for his spring break, which is in 3 weeks. He also had a Hawaii trip planned with his friends, so it struck me as odd that he would suddenly drop those plans. I firmly told him no, I needed months of distance. He should go with his friends and shift his focus to other things. He then stated that if he came to the city where I live, he wouldn't bother me. He just wanted to be closer to me and do his own thing. I again told him no very firmly, that I had to go, and that he needed to leave me alone and not contact me until I initiated contact. I then hung up before he could say anything else and blocked him on all my social media accounts. His mental state is concerning, yet what truly frightens me is his relentless persistence despite my clear disinterest in any current interaction with him. I plan to address these issues and inform my therapist later today, and that will be the extent of my public discussion. I may cease providing updates entirely, as I believe all essential information has already been shared. I truly appreciate all the assistance I've received up to this point, and I wish you a pleasant day. Additionally, there's one more detail I did speak with my sister. After I presented her with evidence, she accepted my account and assured me of her full support for any steps I deem necessary for my safety. I inquired if our brother had ever exhibited unusual behavior toward her. Her response was negative. She speculated that he likely viewed me as merely an bothersome extra member of the family, not truly a sister, whatever that implies. Nonetheless, her support was invaluable, given that she cares for an infant, holds a demanding full-time position, and resides in a different state from my family and me. I'm uncertain about the extent of practical help she can offer. However, I am grateful for her emotional backing. From the Scaling Stories perspective, I'm relieved the original poster completely blocked her brother. What exactly was his intention? Despite her numerous explicit requests for personal space, he clearly understood that his actions had caused the OP significant discomfort for quite some time. The OP had even confided in her parents, yet he persisted in attempting to arrange a flight to visit her, and even considered relocating nearby. This behavior strongly suggests a highly disturbing stalker-like pattern, or worse. I hope she manages to keep a significant physical and online distance from her brother, and that she possesses a robust network of friends she can depend on. I'm genuinely unsure if reconciliation within the family regarding this situation will be possible in the long term. A glimmer of hope might exist if the brother were to immediately seek assistance and demonstrate genuine commitment to addressing his issues, but he has shown no such initiative. Furthermore, the father's stance leads me to suspect the original poster will perpetually be held responsible for her brother's behavior. To navigate out of this difficult situation, I believe her optimal approach would be to reduce communication with her brother and establish a distinct separation from her father concerning the issue. Undertaking such a course will undoubtedly present significant challenges, yet prioritizing her mental well-being is absolutely essential. She must not be held accountable for her brother's conduct, and establishing firm boundaries is crucial to prevent this from recurring.